Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to What If Season 3, Episode 5, titled What If the Emergence Destroyed the Earth. Riri Williams embarks on a deadly mission to take down the authoritarian Quentin Beck. So, the title, the synopsis, and the thumbnail for this are all wild. 1. The emergence destroying the Earth. So I don't know how Riri and Quentin are around. 2. Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, is in this, and they've been very light on using Spider-Man characters. Like, the only one I can think of was Spider-Man in the Zombies episode. And they couldn't use Tom Holland for that, so I do wonder, is this going to be Gyllenhaal? And the thumbnail is Mysterio, sans helmet, hooked up to some wiring with glowing eyes and white vision. So, yeah, this one's going to be probably as wild as the last episode was, but probably with a darker tone. So, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Why do you never play when I tell you to? So obviously in this universe, the Eternals failed. But what caused them to fail? Are we going to find that out in this one, or? And you've broken that oath multiple times. Those are Ultron bots. Rushville. Well, that's not a great sense of hope for this episode. Also, in every variation of this universe is an interesting way to say it. Sharon? Yeah, it's a microwave. So she seemed to at least get the piece out of it that she needed. So what time is it? Obviously, I'm assuming after Spider-Man Far From Home, but before Black Panther 2. Nope. He can just do that. This is also a universe where... Is that Wong? Okay, this is a very odd ragtag team. I don't recognize the name that she said. Dominic Thorne, yeah. Alejandro Saab, Emily Van Camp, Tessa Thompson. Yeah, I'm not seeing thing who, which I guess, hang on. Okay. That was a name I was not expecting, but I wonder if this is a case of they couldn't get Thingo, he didn't want to, or they weren't allowed to. Ah. So that would mean it happened before the snap. Jeez, what happened to you? Because for the age that Riri was, you should not be this old. Unless this is like happening a few years in the future. I'm also guessing that this must have been... Yeah. That would mean that the snap that brought everyone back didn't happen. Your base is the Titanic. Radio. Oh, well, that's an issue. The fact they've set up scanners purely to detect if it's going to be Vision, because he'd be the only one with variable molecular density. Well, there goes almost all of the resistance. Arcane armor. I was half expecting him to just float back the other way, like, that wasn't where I needed to go. And bounce off the wall. Well, sort of. I was expecting it to occur before that. I guess that's a fair... A good thing the ward doesn't need concentration. Oh, well, maybe it does. Yep. Reverse the polarity, eh? Doesn't seem like she failed in this universe. We're the only ones left. The resistance is down to 5 members. At the end of the time, should have been an MIT student. giving them as guardian burial. I guess they did go out fighting, so... Okay, not quite as guardian. I thought it was gonna light the ship on fire. Also, I think I bumped my microphone, so if I did, apologies. You're gonna try and weaponize him against... I do have a feeling this Riri is gonna be different because someone's gonna step in. You don't mention your oath unless it's important to that episode. Also, I think this is the first time that it's not been Benedict voicing Wong in one of these episodes. Wong has been in other episodes, yeah. Oh, it's even worse than in Far From Home. He's got nanites for them now, not drones. Yep. Or if you can be manipulated. Honestly, if I had the ability, I would upgrade myself. Here's the thing. The Watcher doesn't like to re-watch the same universe, so he said there's been multiple variations of this universe, so what makes this one different if she's following the same steps as always? What happens if she gets hit by an EMP? Why do I feel like she's an illusion? Okay. At least something tangible about her, but I don't trust it. Yes, because that's the old-fashioned way. That would be why his eyes are glowing. You know, he's really looking more Vulture than Mysterio. That's what I thought. Oh God. They go both ways. Honestly, I am glad that we're getting to see more of Mysterio. Because he has, in my eyes, one of the biggest feats from a What If comic. And that is, he made Wolverine I'll talk about it after this. But oh god, did she just? Oh, oh god. Okay, it's not seeming quite as bad. And of course, the one time he doesn't watch is the time she succeeds, or Yep, I had a feeling that because he brought his oath up in this episode, that he was going to play a pivotal part in changing this destiny. She's taken the nanites too, by the looks of it. And she didn't even have to kill you to take him. It's made the Avengers symbol. In the end, you only live long enough to see your dream destroyed. The Eminence, the Incarnate, the Executioner. That's interesting. question. Why do they all have different titles? Because the race is called the Watchers. You have Uatu, which is the one who watches Earth. Well, all Terran beings, which is the one we follow. Uatu, the Watcher. The other people of his races are X, the Watcher, not... They don't have different titles. So I guess that's a change they've made. Yeah. Also, those names probably have importance because it was what? The Eminence, the Executioner, and the Incarnate. The Eminent? It is Eminence, yeah? I am reading that correctly? Yeah. Interesting. So, while I bring up the cast list for this episode, I thought when Beck said that she never left the field and then showed us her teammates dead, I thought that in her fight against the illusions, what it actually was her fighting her teammates, and it was going to be revealed that she's the one who killed them because she thought that she was fighting Beck, which is related to what I was saying with Mysterio has one of the biggest feats, in that is exactly what he did to Wolverine in the Old Man Logan story, where it was a day all the villains decided to team up. They realized they can't defeat their heroes alone, so if they all went against them together, they might stand a chance. And Mysterio, he went after Wolverine. And what he did was Wolverine arrived at the X-Mansion, saw that it was overrun by villains, attacking the X-Men and the students and everything. So what he did was he went in and he slaughtered all of the villains that were attacking. Only for it to be revealed when he was done that Mysterio had changed it so that the people he was actually attacking was the X-Men. So that is what I mean. He was able to fool Wolverine's senses into attacking and killing all of the other mutants. And that is why I'm glad we got to see more of Quentin Beck. Because Mysterio, when utilized properly, is a very dangerous opponent. Interesting. This doesn't have the full cast because there's no one credited for Wong. There's no one credited for the second Watcher, the Incarnate. Darren DePaul was the Executioner. Jason Isaacs was the Eminence, which you may know as Lucius Malfoy. That was the name that I was like, well, I was not expecting that from the opening crawl. Alejandro Saab was Quentin Beck. They actually, I did comment this at the start, but they actually got Emily Van Camp back for this very small role, but I mean, they got Josh Brolin back for the last episode, and he had what? The Stones? Is this about the Stones? So he had an even smaller role, so I want Benedict Wong, not Benedict Cumberbatch. Because I swear Wong's been in past What If episodes. Yeah. He lost his heart instead of his hands. So interesting that they weren't able to get him back for this one. I wonder... I'm pretty sure that in the last episode they didn't have a cast. Eminence was Jason Isaacs. Wong was David Chen. There are multiple David Chens. I don't know which one because it's not linked. Huh. That doesn't make sense. Unless this is before even the snap. Well, the blip. I thought that was just some other Dora Milaje member. But no, it's credited as Okoye. Didn't Okoye blip? Then I think, didn't Riri blip as well? So I guess it would have to have been that the emergence happened before even Thanos arrived. DC Douglas was the incarnate. Ying-Nan was Michelle Wong. The name sounds familiar. Been a lot of KS2 and Adventure Time Distant Lands would be the most recent one. Okay. What was her name in this? Ying-Nan. I thought so. I knew the name sounded familiar, and I was thinking from Shang-Chi, but then I'm like, no, why would anyone from Ta Lo be here? Like, wouldn't that have just been cut off from Earth because of the emergence? This was interesting episode. We got to see some characters come back, which was good. This leading into Ironheart, and that is good to get more Riris to remind people that, hey, this is a character that exists, even though we haven't done anything with her for a couple of years. Mysterio, with the multiverse and everything, if Sony allows, might come back after Doomsday and that. I hope so. The other people of the Watchers race, because we can't even say the other Watchers now because they all have different titles. That is a very interesting change. Watchers. Marvel. Yeah, if you type in Watchers to Wikipedia, Uatu is the Watcher assigned to observe Earth and its solar system. the other Watchers will observe other groups. Species Watcher. The Watchers are a race of fictional extraterrestrials depicted as all-powerful beings who watch over fictional multiverses and the stories that take place in them, and are not allowed to interact with other characters. Yeah. So, the race is called the Watchers. So, for them to change that to being just Uatu himself is the Watcher, I guess, yes, he has been seen observing more cosmic events in the past, like T'Challa became Star-Lord. That is still a Terran-based story. Ultron 1, that went through several different universes where that weren't Earth, so I guess that would be more likely. But again, Ultron and Vision are Terran-based by design. Nebula joined the Nova Corps, that is purely non-Terran, so that right there breaks Uatu's jurisdiction. So I guess he is the one who watches everything, which also doesn't make sense because in Guardians 2 we saw Stan Lee informing multiple Watchers about events that had happened. So I'm confused. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode. I reckon they should have made it be revealed that Riri was the one who took out her teammates. I reckon that would have just played even more into that bit at the end of her just shutting down. Because as it stands, you've been fighting against Beck as your own revolutionary. Even before you joined the Alliance. You joined the Alliance, you took down the Vision. They helped you get here when they've just lost almost their entire crew. You'd think that seeing them dead would instead spur her to fight even harder, like fight tooth and nail out of vengeance, because that just feels like it's in line with what we've seen from the character. But I guess not. But if you had her be the one to kill her teammates because she thought she was fighting back, that would have made more sense with her just breaking down at the end until the Watch is able to talk to her. But that's just my opinion, and yeah. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here. I'll catch you in the next one.